Vexter navigated through the busy streets of Infinitium, his eyes part organic, part mechanical, glinting under the neon glow. The city sprawled around him, a chaotic tapestry of lights and sounds, yet he felt like a solitary star, flickering in a void. His metallic limbs whirred softly with each step, a reminder of the enhancements that set him apart from the sea of flesh and blood of humanity. Freak! The word cut through the silent noise, sharp and cruel. Vexter clenched his mechanical jaw, forcing his gaze downward. As he quickened his pace, pushing through the crowd that flowed like a river around him, indifferent to his presence. With each passing day, the weight of loneliness grew heavier, pressuring against his tissues mind. He had made a wish upon witnessing a meteor shower through the misty sky just the night before, a simple plea for companionship, but the universe had responded with silence, leaving him to drown in his sorrow. His stomach grumbled, a reminder that he hadn't eaten since yesterday. He turned into a small food stall, the scent of sizzling meat filling the air. His heart raced as he produced a handful of coins, the clink of metal against metal almost drowned by the raucous laughter of patrons. "Sorry, buddy?" the vendor shouted through the laughter, waving a greasy hand. "No room for your kind here." Vexter's heart sank as he was in disbelief shooed away, the laughter echoing behind him. He stumbled back into the street, the weight of rejection settling heavily on his shoulders. Collapsing against a cold wall, he let out a shuddering breath. The tears that pooled in his eyes blurred the vibrant lights of Infinitium, transforming the city into a haze of sorrow. "Why?" he whispered to no one, his voice barely a tremor in the air. "All I wanted was a friend." Suddenly, a shadow shifted beside him. A figure knelt, cloaked in dark fabric that obscured their face. "Here," the stranger said, extending a hand that held a wrapped sandwich. "You look like you could use this." Vexter blinked, disbelief mingling with gratitude. He reached out, fingers brushing against the fabric of the stranger's cloak. But when he turned to offer thanks, the figure had vanished, leaving only the fading echoes of kindness in the air. His fingers trembled as he unwrapped the sandwich, taking a tentative bite. The flavor burst in his mouth, a simple yet profound comfort. As he savored each bit, a flicker of hope ignited within him, a tiny ember against the cold, dark backdrop of his life. Unbeknown to Vexter, the hooded figure was Prince Ethros, heir to the Galactic Empire. Ethros had witnessed Vexter's humiliation, the kick to his pride, and felt a stirring of empathy. Disguised as a commoner, he had trailed Vexter through the city, intrigued by the cyborg's quiet yet brilliance. As days turned into weeks, Ethros observed Vexter from the shadows, marveling at the craft shift workshop heading in the back alley where Vexter poured his heart into his inventions. The workshop overflowed with half-finished contraptions, bolts and wires tangled together like the chaos within Vexter's mind. "Hey, what's this?" Ethros finally spoke, stepping into the dim light one evening as Vexter hunched over a new creation. Vexter jumped, nearly toppling over a precarious stack of gears. "Who are you? What do you want?" "Just a curious pass-by," Ethros replied, his voice steady. "I've seen you around. You have a talent, you know?" Vexter narrowed his eyes, suspicion creeping into his veins. "Talent? Or a freak show?" Ethros stepped closer, an earnest look in his eyes. "No, seriously. I've seen your work. You've got a gift. Let me help." Vexter hesitated, the walls he had built around his heart rising high. "Help? Why would you want to help me?" "Because," Ethros said, his tone softening, "I believe in what you can do." Days passed, and Vexter found himself opening up to Ethros, sharing sketches and ideas. They spent hours in the workshop, the tension between them morphing into a collaboration that felt almost friend-like. The two cyborgs worked tirelessly on Vortexa, a machine designed to heal grievous malfunctions in machines and, by extension, perhaps even in people. Each successful adjustment brought Vexter an exhilarating rush of joy, a sensation long forgotten. "I can't believe we actually did it," Vexter exclaimed one evening, his voice ringing with excitement as the device hummed to life. Ethros grinned, his pride evident. "You did most of it. I just provided moral support." "Yeah, right?" Vexter chuckled, disbelief coloring his tone. "You're the one who helped me refine the energy output." Ethros shrugged, a playful glint in his eye. "Okay, maybe I did a little, but it's your genius that made it possible." Vexter's laughter echoed, a sound so rare that it startled him. He felt alive, his loneliness momentarily forgotten. But as the days rolled on, a nagging thought gnawed at him. What would happen when Ethros revealed his true identity? One evening, as they sat across from each other, the glow of Vertexa illuminating their faces, Ethros cleared his throat. "There's something I need to tell you." Vexter's heart raced. "What is it?" "I'm not who you think I am," Ethros began, his voice steady but laced with tension. "I'm Prince Ethros, heir to the throne of the Galactic Empire." Silence enveloped them, the hum of Vertexa the only sound. Vexter felt the ground shift beneath him, the weight of reality crashing in. "Why didn't you tell me?" he finally managed, the hurt evident in his voice. "Because I wanted you to see me as a person, not a title," Ethros replied, his expression earnest. "I've seen the way people treat you. I wanted to show you that there are still good people in this galaxy." "Good people?" Vexter scoffed, bitterness creeping back. "You mean like the ones who kicked me out of the food stall? Or the ones who call me freak?" "I know it's hard," Ethros said softly, "but I want to help you. I want to give you a place where you can thrive, where your inventions can change lives." "Change lives?" Vexter echoed, incredulity lacing his words. "And what happens when I fail? What happens when I'm just a disappointment to you and your empire?" "Vexter, you won't fail. You're brilliant," Ethros insisted, leaning forward. "I want to introduce you to my father. We could use someone like you in the empire. You could help end the wars, create technology that saves lives." Vexter recoiled, the fear of rejection resurfacing with a vengeance. "You don't understand. I can't just step into your world. I'm not like you." "You're more than you realize," Ethros urged. "You've shown me a side of yourself that I admire. I'm willing to fight for you." Vexter's heart raced at the prince's words, but the walls he had built were tall and thick, fortified by years of isolation. "I can't, Ethros. I can't risk being hurt again." "Please," Ethros said, his voice a low, persuasive murmur. "Let me show you what it's like to be accepted for who you are. Let me help you take the first step." A silence fell over them, thick with unspoken fears and hopes. Vexter felt the weight of Ethros's gaze, a mixture of warmth and determination. Finally, he nodded, albeit hesitantly. "Okay," he whispered, "but if it goes wrong?" Ethros smiled, his relief palpable. "It won't, I promise." The next day, Ethros arranged for a meeting with his father, the Emperor. Vexter's heart pounded as they entered the grand palace, the opulence overwhelming. Massive chandeliers sparkled overhead, casting a warm glow over the marble floor. Vexter felt out of place, the sharp contrast between his worn clothing and the grandeur around him a painful reminder of his status. The Emperor sat at the head of a long table, his presence commanding. Ethros introduced Vexter, his voice steady. "Father, this is Vexter. He's developed a remarkable machine, one that could change the course of our technology." The Emperor regarded Vexter with a scrutinizing gaze. "Is that so?" Vexter swallowed, his throat dry. "Yes, Your Majesty. Yes, Your Majesty. I've designed a machine that can heal malfunctions in machines. Could help our soldiers, our infrastructure. Could save lives." Show me, the Emperor commanded, a flicker of interest igniting in his eyes. Vexter hesitated, doubt creeping in. What if it didn't work? What if he failed in front of the Emperor and his son? But Ethrose's reassuring presence at his side bolstered his resolve. "All right," Vexter said, steeling himself. "But I'll need some materials." With a wave of the Emperor's hand, the room was filled with technicians and engineers, bustling to gather the equipment Vexter needed. As he worked, Vexter felt the pressure build, the weight of expectations heavy on his shoulders. "Just breathe," Ethros whispered, standing close, his presence a calming anchor. "You can do this." Vexter focused, tuning out the whispers of doubt in his mind. He worked diligently, the hum of machinery blending with the rhythm of his heartbeat. Finally, he stepped back, wiping his brow with the back of his hand. "Here it is," he announced, pride swelling in his chest as Vortexa glowed with energy. The Emperor observed intently, his expression unreadable. Vexter activated the machine, and Vortexa hummed to life, a series of lights flickering in a mesmerizing display. The technicians gasped as a nearby malfunctioning droid began to repair itself, sparks flying as the device worked its magic. In the vast expanse of the Infinitium galaxy, where stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across a velvet sky, a once lonely cyborg named Vexter found himself at the center of a monumental shift. For years, he had toiled in the shadows, crafting gadgets and inventions that remained hidden from the world. But now, with the galactic Emperor Ethros acknowledging his potential, Vexter felt a surge of purpose coursing through his circuits. Ethros, a figure of authority and wisdom, had summoned Vexter to the grand halls of the Imperial Palace. The walls were adorned with shimmering holograms of past victories, and the air buzzed with anticipation. Vexter stood before a crowd of engineers and researchers, all eyes fixed on him, their expressions a mix of skepticism and curiosity. "Today, we witness the dawn of a new era," Ethros proclaimed, his voice echoing through the chamber. "Vexter will enlighten you all with his inventions. Take notes, for this is a moment that will shape the future of Infinitium." With a nod of determination, Vexter stepped forward, his mechanical limbs whirring softly. He had spent countless hours perfecting his creations, and now it was time to unveil them. The first demonstration was a pair of levitation boots, a project he had nearly abandoned in frustration. As he strapped them on, the crowd held its breath. With a flick of his wrist, he activated the boots, and to everyone's astonishment, he floated effortlessly above the ground. Gasps filled the room as Vexter glided through the air, performing intricate maneuvers that showcased the boot's capabilities. The engineers scribbled furiously in their notebooks, their skepticism fading into awe. Vexter reveled in the attention, feeling a warmth in his core that he had never experienced before. But this was just the beginning. As he landed gracefully, he gestured toward a hidden door at the back of the chamber. "And now, I present to you my workshop." With a dramatic flourish, he opened the door to reveal a vast room filled with unfinished gadgets, each one a testament to his creativity and ingenuity. The engineers and researchers stepped inside, their eyes widening in disbelief. There were devices that could manipulate gravity, machines that could harness solar energy, and even a prototype for a universal translator. Each invention was a glimpse into a future that could be, and the potential was staggering. "With your help, we can bring these ideas to life," Vexter exclaimed, his voice filled with passion. "Together, we can end the wars that have plagued our galaxy for too long." The room erupted in applause, and for the first time, Vexter felt truly accepted. As the days turned into weeks, Vexter worked tirelessly alongside Ethros's engineering squad. They collaborated, shared ideas, and transformed his wild concepts into tangible inventions. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement as prototypes were tested and refined. Vexter's inventions began to spread throughout the galaxy, igniting curiosity and hope among various planetary civilizations. Ethros watched in amazement as Vexter's impact grew. "Can you believe it, Father? Just a single cyborg is uniting our galaxy," he exclaimed, his eyes shining with pride. The Galactic Emperor nodded, a smile gracing his lips. "Indeed, Ethros, Vexter is not just a creator. He is a beacon of hope. If we can harness his inventions, we may finally bring peace to Infinitium." But Vexter was not done yet. One fateful day, as he tinkered with a new device, he felt a surge of inspiration. "I have it!" he shouted, startling the engineers around him. "This will be the ultimate invention." He unveiled a complex mechanism, a time bomb designed to end the cycle of violence once and for all. The room fell silent, confusion etched on the faces of those present. Ethros stepped forward, concern evident in his eyes. "Vexter, what do you mean by a time bomb?" "This device will create a temporal rift, allowing us to rewrite the past," Vexter explained, his excitement palpable. "We can erase the conflicts that have torn us apart." Ethros exchanged glances with his father, both unsure of the implications. "But at what cost, Vexter?" the Emperor asked, his voice steady yet cautious. Vexter's enthusiasm dimmed slightly. "I understand the risks, but think of the possibilities. We could create a future free from war." As the debate continued, Vexter felt a mix of pride and trepidation. He had come so far from the lonely cyborg he once was, now standing on the precipice of something monumental. The Galactic Emperor and his son deliberated, weighing the potential consequences of Vexter's invention. In that moment, Vexter realized that he had not only created gadgets but had also forged connections, alliances, and a sense of belonging. No matter the outcome, he had already made an indelible mark on the galaxy. As the discussions continued, Vexter stood tall, knowing that he had transformed from a mere inventor into a symbol of hope for Infinitium. Whether his time bomb would bring about the end or a new beginning, one thing was certain: Vexter would always be remembered as the cyborg who futurized Infinitium for the best. With the Emperor's approval, preparations for the simulation began. Vexter and Ethros spent days refining the time bomb, ensuring its mechanics were sound. They created a virtual reality chamber, a vast space filled with holographic displays and intricate algorithms that would allow them to witness the effects of their invention without any real-world repercussions. As they activated the machine, Vexter's heart raced with anticipation. The chamber filled with a soft glow, and the air buzzed with energy. Ethros stood beside him, his eyes filled with excitement. "Are you ready?" Ethros asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Vexter nodded, his fingers trembling as he prepared to initiate the simulation. "Here we go." With a flick of a switch, the time bomb activated, and the chamber was enveloped in a kaleidoscope of colors. They found themselves standing in a virtual representation of Infinitium, a city reminiscent of the one Vexter knew but altered in subtle, yet significant ways. "Look!" Ethros exclaimed, pointing toward a scene unfolding before them. A holographic projection displayed a moment in history where conflict erupted, a bitter battle between factions vying for control over resources. Vexter watched, his heart heavy. This is where it all began. "Let's see the outcome of our intervention," Ethros urged, excitement brimming in his voice. Vexter focused on the time bomb, guiding its energy toward the scene. The virtual world shifted, ripples of light cascading through time as they watched the battle dissolve into peace. Soldiers who had fought turned toward one another, shaking hands instead of drawing weapons. The scene morphed into a harmonious gathering, citizens celebrating their newfound unity. Vexter's heart swelled with hope. It worked! We changed the course of history. But as they continued to observe, Vexter noticed subtle changes that began to ripple through the virtual reality. The once vibrant city started to dim, shadows creeping in as the peaceful gathering transformed into chaos. "Wait!" Vexter exclaimed, his excitement turning to dread. What's happening? The simulation displayed a new conflict arising, a struggle for power among the factions that had been united. A grand leader emerged, promising prosperity, but their ambition led to oppression and suffering. "No, this isn't right," Vexter said, panic rising within him. "We've created a worse future." As discussions continued, Vexter stood tall, knowing that he had transformed from a mere inventor into a symbol of hope for Infinitium. Whether his time bomb would bring about the end or a new beginning, one thing was certain: Vexter would always be remembered as the cyborg who futurized the great Infinitium for the best. After many hours of heated debate, the Emperor finally raised his hand for silence. "Vexter, your invention is remarkable, but we must consider the ramifications. Time is not to be trifled with. It is unpredictable." "But, Your Majesty," Ethros interjected, "think of the potential. We could save countless lives. The wars could be a thing of the past. And what if we create a future worse than the one we seek to escape?" The Emperor countered, his gaze shifting to Vexter. "What do you propose we do, Vexter?" Vexter felt the weight of their eyes upon him. He took a deep breath, the gravity of his invention pressing down on him. "I believe we should test the device, but with caution. We can create a controlled scenario, a simulation, before we attempt anything in the real world." The Emperor considered this, his brow furrowed. "A simulation?" "Yes, Your Majesty," Vexter replied, his heart racing. "We can use virtual environments to understand the consequences of meddling with time. This way, we can predict outcomes without risking actual lives." Ethros nodded, excitement growing. "That's a brilliant idea, Vexter. It allows us to explore the possibilities without the uncertainty." The Emperor sighed, his expression softening. "Very well. We shall proceed with your simulation, Vexter. But I warn you, the very act of altering time could have unforeseen consequences." Vexter bowed his head, a mixture of gratitude and determination flooding him. "I understand, Your Majesty. I will approach this with the utmost care." As the years flowed on, Vexter and Ethros continued to innovate, each invention embodying their shared vision for a brighter future. The galaxy flourished, and the once divided factions began to work together, their bonds strengthened by technology and understanding. But in the quiet moments, Vexter remembered the lessons learned from their attempts to alter time. The past was a fragile tapestry, and while they had the power to shape the present, they had to tread carefully, always mindful of the consequences. One evening, as Vexter gazed up at the stars, he felt a familiar flicker of hope ignite within him. The universe was vast and full of mysteries, but he understood that true change began with compassion and connection. And as he stood there, side by side with Ethros, he knew that together, they could navigate the boundless expanse of possibilities, forging a future illuminated by the light of friendship, a future where every star had its place in the infinite galaxy of Infinitium. With the dawn of each new day, Vexter and Ethros embraced the challenges that lay ahead, their hearts brimming with hope and determination. They understood that while they had come far, there was always more work to be done. As they embarked on countless adventures, exploring new worlds and forging alliances, they carried with them the lessons of their past, the importance of empathy, collaboration, and the unyielding belief in the potential of every individual. And so, in the vast expanse of the Infinitium galaxy, the legacy of Vexter, once a lonely cyborg, became a beacon of inspiration for generations to come. The once solitary star had transformed into a constellation, illuminating the path toward a brighter future, where every soul could shine brightly in the tapestry of existence. Through their unwavering friendship and shared vision, Vexter and Ethros continued to weave the fabric of time, creating a world where compassion and innovation could thrive hand in hand, forever altering the course of Infinitium and beyond. As the stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across a velvet sky, Vexter felt a profound sense of peace. he had discovered not just his purpose but the true essence of existence, the power of connection, the strength of unity, and the eternal cycle of hope that would continue to guide them on their journey through the cosmos. And in that moment, he understood that the universe was not just a vast expanse of emptiness, but a canvas waiting to be painted with the colors of their dreams, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and a reminder that every star, no matter how small, could shine brightly in the infinite tapestry of life. Together, they had become the guardians of destiny, and their shared adventure was just beginning. Each planet they visited, each new species they met, and every challenge they faced became a thread in the intricate web of their legacy. Their bond grew stronger with each shared victory and each painful lesson, their hearts beating in sync with the pulse of the galaxy itself. They knew that they could not control every aspect of fate, but they could shape it, mold it, and guide it toward a more harmonious existence. Vexter looked over at Ethros, his mechanical hand resting on the timekeeper's shoulder. "My friend," he said, his voice filled with warmth. "We have done much to heal the wounds of the past, but there is still so much more to do." Ethros nodded solemnly, his eyes reflecting the myriad stars above. "Indeed, Vexter," he replied. "We must continue to strive for a balance between progress and preservation, ensuring that no creature is left behind in our quest for a brighter future." With a newfound sense of unity and resolve, the two set out to face the unknown, eager to explore the uncharted territories of the cosmos. The whispers of destiny grew louder with each step, and they knew that their journey would be fraught with trials and tribulations. But they also knew that together, they could conquer any obstacle and bring light to the darkest corners of the galaxy. Their adventure was not just one of exploration and invention, but also of the human spirit, proving that no matter how different individuals may seem, friendship and understanding could bridge the most insurmountable of gaps. Their legend grew with every world they touched, their names echoing through the annals of time as champions of peace, progress, and unity. Yet, they remained humble, knowing that their work was never truly done, and that each new sunrise brought forth a new opportunity to make a difference. Their story became a beacon of hope for the inhabitants of Infinitium, inspiring countless others to reach for the stars and dream of a better tomorrow. And as they ventured further into the cosmos, Vexter and Ethros discovered that the true treasure was not in the stars above, but in the connections they made along the way. For in the vast and ever-expanding sea of the universe, it was the bonds forged between beings that truly mattered, the threads that held the tapestry of existence together. Their adventures were a testament to the indomitable spirit of friendship and the boundless potential of those who dared to dream. And as they sailed onward, they knew that together, they could weave a destiny that was truly their own, a destiny that would resonate throughout the fabric of time.